everyone, I am Janvi Pawar. Welcome back to my channel, or if you guys are new over here, then welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the differences between British and American accent. Now, usually I talk in an American accent, but occasionally I also talk in a British accent, and sometimes all of the accents that I know. So, alright, in this one, we're going to talk about the differences of the letter T in both of the accents. Now, there are many types of T sounds. There is a flap T, there is a glottal T, there is a double T, which is TT, there is a true T, there is a T after N, there is the unstressed T, and there is T where we just forget about the T and do not pronounce it. So a lot of T's, and we're gonna see how to pronounce the letter T in different places and different scenarios in both of the accents. So let's get started. Number one is T after N. So there are words where we have T after N. For example, the word internet or internet. So how to pronounce this one? Now, in British accent, the T is pronounced, and in British accent, we pronounce this as internet. Internet. So the T is a very soft sound. So it's ta ta ta. So it's internet. Internet. Whereas in American accent, you do not pronounce the T. Here, T becomes an unstressed syllable, so it's internet, internet. Although there is going to be the variation of the sound T, but you're not going to pronounce the letter T, so it's internet, internet. Another word we have is wanted. So in British accent, this is wanted. Wanted. So you're pronouncing the T with a very soft sound. So it's wanted. But in American accent, it's wanted. Wanted. Another example is printer. Printer. Now, in British accent, it's printer. So you're pronouncing the T, so printer. But in American accent, it's printer. Printer. Another very common word is interview. Now, in British accent, it's interview, but in American accent, it's interview. Interview, you are not pronouncing the T. So interview and interview. Obviously, you're gonna master it with a lot of practice. Now let's talk about true T. Now, what is true T? As the name suggests, it's the true T sound. So how do we usually pronounce T? In Indian accent, people usually say ta ta ta, and it's very hard, you know, like tomato, tomato. So it's like ta ta ta. It's not ta ta ta, but actually in both of these accents, it's very soft, like ta, ta. Ta. So what you're gonna notice, you'll see that while you're pronouncing the ta sound, you're also releasing a puff of air with ta. So it becomes kind of like a ta plus ha sound. Ha for the air. So it's ta, ta. So you're also releasing a puff of air with this sound. So it's ta, ta. For example, in the word true, true, not true, no, not da da da. It's in American accent, it's true, true. So it's very soft, true. And in British accent, it's true, true. Again, the sound is ta. Another example is the word hotel. Hotel, not hotel, te, hotel. Keep it soft, hotel. And in British accent, hotel. Hotel, again, ta. Hotel. Another example is take. Take. Right, you can take it. You can take it. Not you can take it. No, you can take it. Or you can't take it. Ta. So it's ta ta ta. Very soft. Now, usually you're gonna find the true T sound in the initial position of a word. For example, the word true, take, table, tense. So T, you're starting your word with the letter T. So that is true T. Ta, ta, not da, ta. Release a puff of air as well, ta. Now let's talk about type number 3. Type number 3, extremely important, very fun, is when the letter T is between vowels. So usually when you pronounce the letter T between vowels, it's a bit different. Let me give you an example. The word C-I-T-Y. In American English, it's city. In British English, it's city. city. Now, in British English, whenever you find the letter T between vowels, you are gonna pronounce it as true T. For example, city, city, very soft. But when you pronounce this in American English, it will convert to a soft D sound. So it's soft duh, like city, city, not sit ta ta ta, it's soft D, city. For example, the word pretty, pretty, not pretty, not ta, pretty, a very soft duh sound, pretty. And in British English, it's pretty, pretty. Another example, and very common, is the word water, water, not water, no, water. And in British English, this is water, water. Again, you're pronouncing the T as true T, so it's water. And in American, it's water. Another example is the word better, better. So in American, it's better, better. But in British, it's better, better. So better, better. Pretty, pretty. Water, water. There, you got it. Now let's talk about the letter T at the end of a word. I think this is super important whenever you're trying to become a master of any accent, or even if you just want to improve your pronunciation. Mastering the letter T, the sound of T, at the initial position of a word, in the middle of a word, or at the end of a word is super important. So now let's talk about the end of a word. So for example, the word C-U-T. Now, in American English, it's cut. You're not going to pronounce the T, so it's cut. So when you're pronouncing ta, your tongue, it goes up. But while you're doing this, while you're pronouncing this in American English, your tongue will stay there. It will not come down. For example, the ta sound is ta, ta. Your tongue, it comes down. But when the letter T is at the end of a word, your tongue will not come down. So it's cut, cut, cut down, cut down. But in British English, you are going to pronounce the letter T again as true T. So it's cut, cut. In American English, it's sit, sit. But in British English, it's sit, sit. For example, the phrase sit down, sit down. So it's sit down. So when I bring my tongue down, I bring it down with the duh sound, not the ta sound. See, sit down. But in British English, it's sit down, sit down, sit down. In American English, it's hot cup of water, hot. But in British English, it's hot. The ta sound, hot. So these are the main differences between British and American accent in regard to the letter T. Now, obviously, you can master this sound with practice. So whenever you're reading, whenever you're listening, make sure to pay attention to the ta sound. And the more you do that, the more you can master this sound. Also, all of my courses are out now, not just the letter T. If you want to improve all of your letters, all of your sounds, then I have my courses on my website, janvipawar.com. The link for that is in the description box down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye everyone, stay safe.